Okay, great. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Jenny Kimball. I'm the managing editor for the Journal of Molecular and Cellular Cardiology and the Journal of Molecular and Cellular Cardiology Plus. Welcome to our webinar introducing the editors for these two journals. We're glad that you're able to join us today. We would like to introduce our editorial team. We have Rong Tian, who is the editor-in-chief of JMCC. Also joining us today, we have Davor Pavlovic, who is the editor-in-chief of JMCC Plus, and Rebekah Gundry, who is the deputy editor of JMCC Plus, as well as several of our editorial board members. So starting our presentation today, we have Rong Tian, who will speak on JMCC.
Hey, let me share the screen. Can everybody see the screen? I can't. I don't know where it becomes.
Not yet. Hold on.
I've lost one screen, basically.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not showing.
Your screen sharing is paused.
So if you like, I've got your presentation wrong. So if you want, I can try and share it. Would that help?
Okay. Can you do that?
I'll try. Yes, I believe I can.
Oh, fantastic.
So if you just give me prompts, just tell me when to change the
All right, you can go on this. Good morning, everyone. It is really my pleasure to have this opportunity to introduce the journals. Since this is for the Chinese audience, and I will try to go through this in Chinese. 大家早上好，很高兴有这个机会来介绍一下国际心脏研究会的两本杂志。国际心脏研究会就是 ISHR， 这是一个国际联盟组织，在各大洲都有分会，包括这个中国的分会。现在呢，学会有两本杂志，一本叫 Journal Molecular Cellular Cardiology， 我们叫它 JMCC。这个呢是50多年以前创刊的杂志，在这个心血管基础研究方面呢，还是很有声誉的。另外一本呢是去年刚刚创刊的 JMCC Plus， 这个是全部的 online open access journal。今天呢主要是要介绍 JMCC Plus， 但是呢借这个机会呢，我把两本杂志都介绍一下。Next Davor, please。所有杂志的这个信息呢，都在这个 online 或者是 social media， 包括在咱们中国的微信公众号上都可以找到。Next, please。这两本杂志呢，现在主要的这个发表文章的形式呢有5种。一个是 original research，original research 是主要我们分诊的发表的文章，大概占70%。original research 有3种形式，一个呢是 full length article， 就是正常正规的这个长度的。另外一种叫 short communication，short communication 的话大概就是2张图，文字也比较短。这个 short communication 不是说你一个项目没做完就拿短短的一部分来出来发表。short communication 主要是就是说你发现了一个什么东西，你觉得现在应该赶紧把它拿出来，因为它很重要，对大家都想知道这个结果。虽然说你没有把全部的机理和其他的东西做出来，但是这个应该让大家知道。这种是我们叫做 significant, novel and impactful but limited scope， 这样的是 short communication。 另外一个的话就是更短的，叫做letter to the editor， 有些杂志叫它 research letter， 这个的话就是一张图，800字。reference 不超过10个，那个的话主要就是说明一点问题，没有很多其他的研究，就是一个很重要的一点，你想 make that point， 那这个就是 letter to the editor。我们的话也会很快的，就是说turn around 给你一个回复。另外呢就是 review 和 editorial， 这个一般都是邀请的。如果你有一个想法，你觉得自己想 submit 一个 review， 那可以跟我们联系，就说问，就说杂志对这个方面有没有兴趣，有些的话我们也会接收的。但是如果你完全不跟我们联系，就这样送进来的话，多半都是不会接收的，因为杂志有安排，就是想 review 哪些方面的文章。Next please， 这里呢，我想提一下，就是说 JMCC 和 JMCC Plus 有不同的着重点。JMCC 主要着重激励，着重新颖的发现，然后 cutting edge technology 或者是 method。但是 JMCC Plus 呢，更重要的就是说 reproducibility， 可以是一个别人已经观察到的现象，但是你 reproduce 在不同的 model 上面，这个很重要。就是说一个现象一个人观察到不一定算数的，要很多人都观察到，所以 reproducibility 是 JMCC 很重视的。然后 high quality data set resources， 以至于 high quality research， 但是是 negative finding， 但是大家都应该知道的这种文章 JMCC Plus 也很感兴趣。Next please。我们有一个，因为这2个杂志是 companion journal， 所以有一个 transfer system， 就是有一些文章 JMCC 收到了觉得不合适，JMCC 发表可以直接 transfer 到 JMCC Plus，JMCC Plus 会 review。另外一些文章呢，就是 JMCC 已经 review 了，但是觉得就是说不符合 JMCC 的标准。但是呢，因为2个杂志，刚才我提到过，2个杂志有不同的着重点。如果这个文章正好落在 JMCC Plus 的着重点上，我们会 transfer 给 JMCC Plus， 然后呢Plus 就可以优先考虑这个文章，多数时候的话不需要你补实验，只是把一些 reviewer 提出来的问题，就是说在文字上回答了，然后在文章上相应的修改了，就能够在 JMCC Plus 发表。这个的话 JMCC Plus editor 还会更多的讲这方面的问题。JMCC Plus 是 open access， 但是到明年上半年的话，因为这个杂志新出来，所以 open access 费是不需要交的，是 waive 的。所以我们 transfer 文章到 JMCC Plus 并不是要想赚你的文稿费，而是真的想给你一个机会，就是说给你这个文章找一个合适的平台来发表。Next please。这里呢，因为我是主要介绍 JMCC， 所以我再提一下 JMCC 主要的这些文章方向的重点。我们现在是6个 category， 就是这个上面提到的6个 category。然后呢，如果发表在 JMCC 上面跟发表在其他的杂志上有什么优势呢？Next please， Davor。一个呢是我们的 review time 是比较快的。如果文章不送出去 review 的话，3、4天肯定在1个星期之内会告诉你的。如果送出去 review，第一个 review 回来的话，大概是4个星期。另外一个呢，就是 JMCC 发表它是 subscription base， 不是 open access。目前的话 subscription base。发表文章是我们 JMCC 是不收 page charge， 就是 totally free。Next please。另外一个呢，就是因为它是学会的杂志，ISHR is behind it。然后我们会选择editor's choice， 然后也会从这个发表文章就选出文章在 JMCC ISHR webinar 上面宣讲，然后在 ISHR 的这个学会的 conference 上也会有机会给我们这个 JMCC 发表文章 Editor's Choice 的文章有机会这个来给 talk。 Next please。这里呢就是跟大家讲一下有多少文章会被接收。这个的话就是自从我们这个 editorial team 上任以来的文章的接收率和这个拒绝率，大概的话就是20%左右的文章会接收。然后从去年开始，我们开始 transfer 文章到 JMCC Plus， 所以我们这个接收率和拒绝率的话稍微有一点改变。总的来说的话，大概有15%的 JMCC 的这个 submission 会 transfer 到 JMCC Plus。Next please。目前的话 JMCC 大概1年会收到700到900篇文章。这个是没有 update 的 slides， 这个是我当时给这个 Australia section 的。 Australia submission 很少，但是中国的 submission 很多，大概有1半的 JMCC 收到的文章都是从中国来的。今年的话因为才3个季度哈，大概 project 年底的话 submission 可能会在800到900篇左右。我呢现在就stop here and introduce the editors and the editorial team of JMCC Plus, and I will let the editor-in-chief of JMCC Plus, Davor Pavlovic, give the next talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rong. I understood some of it. So let me just share my slides now. The bits that the parts that I understood that Rong has already introduced the ISHR as a society to an extent, but actually I thought first that I should start by introducing the ISHR for those of you that are not familiar with it. We are probably the most populous society looking at cardiovascular research, at least in terms of preclinical and mechanistic insights. The society was founded in 1968. We have over 3,000 members worldwide with 7 international sections. China is one of those sections. Each of those sections organizes their own annual meetings, but every 3 years, all the sections participate in a World Congress. And so far, we've had 24 World Congresses, and you can see some of the locations that the meetings were held. In 2019, the World Congress was held in Beijing, and it was very, very well attended, and it was a really good meeting. I was there. 2 future World Congresses are planned, one in Nara in Japan and the other one in Philadelphia in US. And again, just to reiterate what Rong said, ISHR runs 2 journals, the established JMCC, which has been running for over 30 years, and then JMCC Plus, a recent addition. The editorial, I act as editor-in-chief. Deputy editor is Professor Rebekah Gundry from the University of Nebraska, who is also here. And we have an extensive editorial board, which was just recently recruited. As you can see, there's quite a few people here. We also have several senior consulting editors. Rong Tian is one of those. And the total editorial board membership is 54 members. They come from 12 countries, and they come from all the ISHR sections apart from India. And you can see Chinese section provides the 3rd most populous part of the editorial board, with just under 10 members of the editorial board coming from China. We're very proud that we have a good geographical split as well as a good gender split. So we're almost 50-50 in terms of male-female ratios on the editorial board, but not quite there yet. And what do we publish? Well, we publish in several different areas. These are just some of them. And even if your research doesn't fall within any of these areas, I'm not going to go through them, but you can read them and see if your research fits with any of these. But actually, even if it doesn't, there is a part of it which says other research areas, which as long as it's cardiovascular, we're interested in it. So please do submit your work to us. Like Rong mentioned, we are interested in mechanistic insights, but we're also interested in rigor and reproducibility. So even if your study doesn't necessarily report on a novel mechanistic aspect, we're still interested if you got high quality data, or if it's a negative result and the research question was a valid research question. We will also accept resource papers. So these are papers which, for example, have important omic data sets which other researchers can use. And just probably this is my last slide, I believe. Where are we at now? Well, we've been fully open access. We've launched in 2022. We're a quarterly publication at the moment. So first issue was published just over a year ago in September 2022. We've completed 5 issues, and the December 2023 issue is currently in progress. So far, we've published 25 original research papers, 2 reviews, and 12 editorials. We do often invite editorials for research papers that are of relevance, and we also run webinars, which Rebekah will discuss later on. So, Rebekah, I will let you take over now, and please just let me know when you want me to change the slide.
Sure, thanks, Davor. So hello, everyone. I'm Rebekah. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, and I want to provide you with a few updates of where we are on our indexing status. So JMCC was recently accepted by the Directory of Open Access Journals, so that's a really great accomplishment. And we are currently preparing to submit to be indexed in PubMed Central, and then also have a plan to be indexed in Scopus and Clarivate for impact factors. So we're progressing well on those fronts. Next slide. We have 3 special issues ongoing, including remodeling in HFpEF, optical mapping, and reproducibility and reporting of negative results. And all of our special issues, as I said, are currently ongoing and will continue to accept submissions through the end of 2023. Next slide. There we go. And we have a very active social media team who is working to bring visibility to JMCC+, and this includes Olivia Baines, Dan Johnson, and Junji Xiao. And so we are on Twitter, WeChat, and Facebook. So please look for those posts. Please follow these JMCC+ on these platforms and retweet to help us bring visibility to our journal. Next slide. And continuing on that engagement with the research community, we have 3 webinars that are planned for the future. The first one, AI and AI language models in cardiovascular research, I think is confirmed with the speakers, and the date will be forthcoming. And then we also have one on cardiac fibroblasts as cellular models of disease and neurocardiac remodeling that will be forthcoming. So please keep an eye out for notifications and invitations to these upcoming webinars. Next slide.
And I believe that's it.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. Now that the formal presentations have concluded, we do want to introduce, we do have 4 members of our editorial board who have joined the call. All are based in China, and we wanted to give them a chance to introduce themselves to you. So I would like to take a minute or 2 for each of you to introduce yourself, give us some information about what institution you are from and what your research area is. Han, would you like to start?
I'm the first one. Okay, thank you, everyone. First, I would like to introduce myself in English and then Chinese. I'm Han Xiao from Peking University Third Hospital. My research focus on the inflammation and the cardiac remodeling. and then try to identify the new therapeutic targets. Recently, my focus majorly on about the inflammation mechanism of a genetic receptor activation in cardiovascular disease. So then Chinese， 我是来自北京大学第三医院的萧涵，我主要做的研究方向是关于炎症和心脏重构的，以及试图找到一些新的治疗靶点。那么近年来，我主要是围绕交感肾上腺素受体激活，也就是交感应激在心血管疾病当中的分子机制，以及找到新的干预靶点和新的药物的研发。Thank you， 谢谢大家。
Thank you. Yihua, Bei?
Can you hear me? Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Yihua Bei from Shanghai University School of Life Science. I'm now working at Institute of Cardiovascular Science in Shanghai University, and my major research interest is to investigate cardiomyocyte survival, proliferation, and myocardial protection strategy. And we have identified the molecules that regulate cardiomyocyte apoptosis, physiological hypertrophy, pathological hypertrophy, and proliferation, including some non-coding RNA and transcription factors. We are also interested in studying the lymphatic vessels, lymphangiogenesis induced by exercise to promote myocardial protection. So it's a great pleasure to join JMCC Plus. And then in Chinese, 大家好，我是来自上海大学生命科学学院的贝轶化。那么目前主要的研究呢是聚焦在心肌细胞的存活、增殖以及心肌的保护策略。那我们会鉴定一些调控心肌的一个凋亡、生理性肥大、病理性肥大以及这个增殖的一些靶点。同时我们也会研究一些运动诱导的淋巴管新生如何来保护我们的心肌。好，谢谢各位。Thank you.
Great, thank you. Xishuan Liu?
Hello everyone. So it's my pleasure to join this big family and work with the fantastic team. So I'm Xishuan Liu and from Shanghai Jiaotu University Renji Hospital. So my research interests focus on calcium, cardiac calcium homeostasis and cellular metabolism biology. So including cellular and molecular mechanisms of cardiac calcium homeostasis and mitochondrial calcium homeostasis and function in cardiac physiology and pathophysiology. So also include the inter-organelle communication in cardiac myocyte and its role in cardiac function. So now I'm introducing Chinese. 大家好，我是陆续元，来自上海交通大学仁济医院。那我的这个研究领域呢，主要是聚焦在这个心肌细胞的钙离子的一个稳态的调控，在这个心肌相关的这个生理和病理的这个情况之下，那我的研究的就是除了这个 basic 的一个领域是聚焦在钙离子的一个调控上，研究的这个疾病模型呢，主要是focus 在一个胎源性疾病的这样一个领域，非常希望就是有机会和大家进一步的交流，thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, and Ping?
Hello. So it's 8:25 a.m. in Hangzhou. So good morning, everyone. And it's my big honor to be one of the editorial members. And hopefully we can work together to make the journal better. And I'm now a faculty member at Zhejiang University of Medicine. And the research in my lab is focusing on the cardiac electrophysiology and arrhythmia. So and in that I will translate it in Chinese. So 我是来自于浙江大学医学院的梁平，那么我们实验室那么主要是做心脏电生理和心律失常的基础研究，那么非常高兴能够加入JMCC Plus 这样的一个很好的一个杂志。那么我们希望能够那么一起我们共同努力把这本杂志做好。谢谢。
Great. Well, thank you, everyone, for introducing yourselves and for all your work in helping us as we look to grow JMCC Plus. We certainly at this time would welcome any questions from anyone in the audience who has any questions about either JMCC Plus or JMCC. And while we give folks a minute there, I don't know if Davor, if you would like to say anything else.
Yes, I mean, first of all, thank you to all the people that have contributed to this webinar. And obviously without you, we couldn't do any of this. So, and we certainly couldn't communicate with the Chinese audience. so thank you once again. I should probably just mention one thing that we didn't bring up is that a lot of the webinars that we're running are stemming from the work that's published in JMCC Plus, obviously including JMCC as well. So if you do submit your work and we think it's an interesting area or it's a good study, we will basically try and run a webinar on the back of it, which will give you as authors much more prominence and much more interest. And we hope therefore much more citations or many more citations. So it will increase the visibility of your work. I just wonder whether actually it's worth maybe having one of the Chinese natives mention that we're open for Q&A as well, because I believe that, well, maybe not everyone understands that it is time for Q&A.
I can do this. And how do they ask questions? There's a chat box or something?
Sure, there should be, for those who are viewing on WeChat, there should be a mechanism to ask a question through WeChat, and we do have someone who will be conveying those questions through WeChat into the Zoom chat, so we can answer those questions. So if you are viewing this through WeChat, you can ask questions through WeChat, and they will be relayed to us.
Okay. 那就是说，如果有在这个微信平台上听这个webinar 的，如果哪位听众有问题的话，可以从微信平台提问，然后Elsevier 的这个平台服务的话，可以把这个问题转到我们这里来，然后呢我们可以2种语言回答你的问题。请大家不必有什么顾虑，什么问题都可以提出来。
Yeah, so there is actually on the attendees list, there is Yi is on there. So I think she is the in-between.
Yes.
Providing there are any questions. I mean, I suspect it's probably worth waiting for 5 minutes, and then if nothing comes through, then we probably close the session, and the webinar will be available as a recording. So so it will be shared, I think, on WeChat and obviously on our YouTube channel as well. So
can I start by asking a few questions for the JMCC Plus? So maybe you can share a bit information of the articles that you published so far, are they from direct submission or are they from transfer? And how many of them are invited?
So Jenny, would you like me to answer that? I'm happy to answer it. So yep, okay. So so I think probably about 50% of the articles so far accepted or thereabouts are from transmissions or from transfers from JMCC onto JMCC Plus. About maybe 30% are invited editorials, and then the rest of them are independent submissions directly to JMCC Plus. So most of the work that we're publishing so far is either coming from JMCC or has been invited, perhaps through editorials or reviews.
Any information you can provide about how the speed of processing the manuscript?
Yes, so I've had those figures. Josie has prepared them, and let me just try and find that actually. So in terms of the speed, sorry, let me just try and find that. Oh, here we go. So time to first decision is 14 days, and our review time is 31 days. So that's approximately what we're achieving at the moment. And acceptance to publication is then 8 days from the point of reviews coming in. So those are the numbers that we have at the moment. I should probably also point out that we have waived the open access charges until middle of next year. So if you do submit and get accepted, there are no open access charges to pay until the middle of next year. So that's in a way a little sweetener to try and encourage submissions over to JMCC Plus.
I will ask the last question and then I stop and let other people ask. So there's a very interesting special issue topics that you put together. You have 3 special issues. So do you want the potential authors come up with additional special issue ideas? For example, either your editorial board members want to suggest special issues, or anyone who listened to this webinar has an idea of special issues. How do they get to the team?
Yes, so you have basically our email addresses, both Rebekah's and mine and Jenny's. And if anybody has any suggestions on the special issues, and actually if they're willing to act as associate editors as well to run those, we're very, very happy to hear those suggestions. And yes, we would be very keen to hear from anybody in the audience or any of the editorial board members on any ideas or thoughts. And we're pretty much certain to run with them. You know, we may tweak them a little bit, maybe add something to some of the suggestions ourselves, but we're very happy to receive those suggestions and to enable particularly young researchers to kind of get involved in the editorial process and setting up the special issues.
Hi, Davor, can I ask a question? And I noticed that you have a special issue about negative results. Would you please introduce more about what kind of negative results we can submit it to the JMCC Plus? because as a scientist, we have many negative results in the routine day.
Yes, I mean, yeah, as scientists, I think we all do. I guess, first of all, I'm going to introduce the reason for setting this up. I guess, you know, because we all have valid research questions that we start asking, and then we find that we don't reach that significance level, or we don't actually find any change at all. Those data often get scrapped and very rarely published. And obviously, those data are just as important as if we found something positive, a positive change, or a significant change. So obviously, we thought that that's not right, that this is contributing to the positive bias that we have in research. And also, obviously, it's hiding some of the really possibly important data. And it's certainly potentially making somebody repeat the same study that we did because it's not published. So I guess what we want to see is those studies published. Now, the first question that people ask me is, well, how complex does this study have to be? Because quite often we will run an experiment and we'll find no change, and then we'll stop there. So we won't do as many experiments to follow up. And I think it's very difficult to answer that question, because I think it does depend on the quality of the data. It does depend on of the kind of research question that you're asking as well, because we do have short communications as well. So if it's a really important question and you found no change or non-significant change and it's been robustly done, you know, contact us, and we will give you our thoughts as to whether this is suitable or not. Obviously, if it's a bigger study, like, for example, you've done a high-fat diet model and done lots of different aspects in drug treatments and found no difference, that in itself will have substantive data associated with it. That definitely needs to go in to JMCC Plus, and we're very happy to have that. So even if it's a smaller study, but it may be that it's really relevant and important, and we need to know the answer, then we're very happy to publish even smaller pieces of data sets. But obviously, if you've got a more complex study, which has resulted in no important difference, then or no important change or not significant change, we're certainly very happy to host those papers. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Important question and the solid data, robust data.
Yes, exactly. And another thing is that it's not just negative data sets. We're also interested in reproducibility. So if you have a study that's reproducing an already known result, but in a different model, let's say a lot of work has been done maybe in cellular models, and now you've got a different cell type, or maybe you're going into an animal, or you're going into a different species. So maybe the work's been already done in mice and you're demonstrating it in rats as well, or in guinea pigs. We're very happy to have those studies as well, because we think it's important to publish those, because we are in a bit of a reproducibility crisis. I think everybody accepts that. So we do need to know how reproducible our findings are. So those are our motivations for setting up that open call. And actually, I should just say that's an open call. So it's not a special issue. It's actually an open call for papers reporting on negative studies and reproducibility studies. So that will run throughout the lifetime of JMCC Plus, because we feel that's something that needs to be reported on.
Thank you.
All right, I think there are no further questions. So I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, and thank you to all the editors for taking some time to share about JMCC and JMCC Plus. I just want to reiterate that we welcome all contributions to the journal. And if you have any questions about potential research that you would, or a submission that you are interested in contributing to JMCC Plus, to please reach out to the editors. We certainly welcome any kind of discussion. If you are not sure if a paper is a good fit for JMCC Plus or not, please feel free to reach out. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And this concludes our webinar for today. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of